Okay, so today I decided to cover a never mind unfinished. It's surely got canceled. 2 episode um, anime short series that is referred to as Cockroach Girls, based off of a manga titled Gokicha, named after the main character here. So the reason I decided to cover a series that's not only almost nothing, but it's so short, is because yes, ultimately, if you disappointed just by watching these 2 episodes, it still works as an advertisement for the full work, which, from what I saw, is completed. So you can't just go read that. I believe it's I can check how many chapters it is, but I believe it's like 50 or 70 or something like that. It was a lot. So ultimately, yeah, no, adaptations are meant to be promotion of the main work. So even with something as simple as this, it does its job. So what this actually seems to be about, obviously being a work called Cockroach Girls, is they made mascot fucking they made mascot cute anime girl cockroaches. Basically, is what the fuck they did. Like, what do you expect? Um, but honestly, I would go as far as to say, I mean, obviously the cockroach thing is a gimmick, but when you actually start watching it, at least to me, it kind of becomes clear this is a representation of homelessness more than anything. Especially when you consider it doesn't really seem like, at least to me, like it's actually trying to make you sympathize with real life cockroaches. It very much seems like a thing of you have these 2 girls who basically desperately made their way from one city to another, but they have to basically one is basically getting food out the garbage, or begging for food from people, and the other is willing to go as far as stealing it. And in that, even the way that the humans actually end up treating them represents that more so, because they don't actually get stuff that would kill a real cockroach is done in this. So one of them straight up gets stomped, but that's not what happens. They basically just get beat up every time something happens, which sounds a lot more. Which, yeah, no, when you think of it in terms of how homeless people can be treated, it is a thing of if a homeless person is a little too aggressive and they're begging or whatever, you can absolutely see some people would actually just be willing to push them, or even briefly assault them. Or if a homeless person comes in the store and they're raggedy enough, they'll get chased out. Even the fact that most of the times where they get hit with a newspaper. It's people do that to real people. So yeah, I don't know. It just kind of comes across now I will say that I only read the first 2 chapters of the thing just to compare it to the show and even see how much it was adapted. And I was surprised to see that the show didn't even adapt the full 2 chapters. Where you end off in the show kind of just makes it's a little depressing, even because if you didn't know there was another thing to go read, you might think the series just ends with the girl basically dead, and we move on. But no, that was only the first half of chapter 2, and there's more reading. And honestly, knowing that is maybe things do get better for them. Maybe things actually do get better. I don't know. Like I said, I only read 2 chapters, so whether a real narrative comes about or whether it's more just episodic in nature, I don't know yet. And I will probably, I mean, I'm gonna talk about that. I fully plan to read the whole thing and cover it. I will say that this style of going about covering a topic, or you basically turn whatever you want to cover into a cute anime girl and do it that way. Even though I really like the OP song, but ultimately it is what it is. It's fairly simple, and the animation is it's not bad. It's certainly not like anything top. It's better than most YouTube animations. Is the way I would put it. It is kind of like it does kind of like doing some of that goofy, like cheaply made for cheaply made for a professional studio. Like a lot of things going on, like just in the ways they move, like you can just tell. But like it's not awful. It looks fine. It looks fine. I don't even think the characters have like lip flaps. They don't have lip movement with their speaking. They just kind of like have their mouth open and like move a little bit. Like that's the level where we're at with this. But again, it does its job. It does its job of like if you find this endearing, then go check out the source material. So I can't fault it too much. And honestly, I found it more than endearing enough to instantly go look it up. Now, in a thing talking about homelessness and choosing to use cute girls as your subjects, again, we basically essentially have a mascot design here, and with that, you get the fact of like you get to both have them be homeless, but also like even though they're dirty, they still like again as a cartoon ultimately look endearing, which is maybe not something you can get away with too well if this were like a live action kind of thing, or just a direct represent. Well, I guess if they did a live action Cockroach Girls thing, then maybe. But like, yeah, there's not really much to say about this one. But yeah, no, if you check it out and you like it, there's a full manga. I'll pull up the author real quick just so you can make sure you find it. It is here we go. Let's pull up MAO. Yeah, it is Gokicha by, and I'll put out spelled in the description. I might even put the email in the description by Rui Tamachi. And yeah, there's 70 chapters, 5 volumes, finished, ran from 2011 to 2016. So yeah, no, if you find this interesting at all, that's your next stop. I'll see if I can find like a. I don't think it was officially translated. Is the thing, so I don't think there's an official way to buy it unless you're willing to buy a Japanese copy. I don't think I'm not seeing any information on that. If I find anything, I'll put it in the description. But otherwise, um, yeah, this was a simple one. I knew it wasn't gonna take me long to talk about this because ultimately, even watching the thing like takes less than 20 minutes. But yeah, hope I gave y'all something interesting to check out. Have a good one.